Today, so our topic for today is rectilinear motion. Rectilinear motion, it is referred to the motion of an object along a straight line. So it is one of the simplest types of motion. It has two types, uniform rectilinear motion and non-uniform rectilinear motion. When we say uniform rectilinear motion, this refers to the motion where the object moves along a straight line with a constant velocity, meaning there is no acceleration. In this case, the displacement increases linearly with time, while the non-uniform rectilinear motion, this case, which is the object moves along a straight path but the velocity is not constant, meaning there is an acceleration or deceleration involved. There are three formulas that we need to familiar in constant acceleration, which is the first one, final velocity is equals to initial velocity plus acceleration multiplied by time. This distance or displacement is equals to initial velocity multiplied by time plus 1/2 multiplied by acceleration times time raised to 2. And last is final velocity squared is equals to initial velocity squared plus 2 times acceleration times displacement. So there is difference between distance and displacement. For example, there are 2 points, A and B. So the distance here is the original. Distance. And the displacement, when we say displacement, it is the straight line distance between the initial and final position of an object along with the direction. It is a vector quantity. So this is the displacement. And when we say velocity, it is the rate of change of displacement with respect to time. In rectilinear motion, it can be positive or negative depending on the direction of motion, and the average velocity is calculated by average velocity is equals to total displacement over or divided by the time taken, while instantaneous velocity refers to the velocity at a specific point of time, and acceleration is the rate of change of velocity with respect to time. If the velocity of an object is increasing, the acceleration is positive. If the velocity is decreasing, the acceleration is negative. So in variable acceleration, the relationship between the instantaneous velocity is equals to ds over dt, or derivative of position equation with respect to time, and instantaneous acceleration is equals to dv over dt, or derivative of velocity equation with respect to time. And the last one, vdv, is equals to ads, or acceleration ds. So this equation is derivable by the first two equations. We can simplify v over A equals ds over dt all over dv over dt. So we can cancel out so v over a, or velocity over acceleration, is equals to ds over dt. Cross multiply, and then we can come up with this formula. So the next is example. So this is the sample problem number 1 for rectilinear motion. A truck traveling along a straight road at speed of 15 km per hour increases its speed to 100 km per hour in 10 seconds. So what is the constant acceleration, and determine the total distance traveled. So this is the example number 1 of rectilinear motion. A truck traveling along a straight road at a speed of 15 km per hour. So we have a given of initial velocity is equals to 15 km per hour, and final velocity is equals to 100 km per hour in interval time of 10 seconds. Since the time is in seconds, we need to convert the velocity to meter per seconds. So we need to convert velocity or initial velocity 15 km per hour. To convert, we just have to multiply 1000 meter over 3000 seconds, or 1000 meter 1 kilometer is equals to 1000 meter, and then 1 hour is equals to 3600 seconds. Ew. 15. So we have 4.17 meter per seconds. Just like that, final velocity, 100 km per hour (1 hour). So it's just the same like this. Cancel. 27.78 meter per second. So the velocity is converted to meter per second. For A, it is the constant acceleration, or what is the constant acceleration. So we can use the formula. Final velocity is equals to initial velocity plus acceleration times time. So since we converted velocity to meter per seconds, we can substitute final velocity is equals to 27.78 meter per seconds. And initial velocity is 4.17 meter per seconds. Plus the acceleration, which is we needed to calculate and multiply by the time, 10 seconds. So acceleration is equals to 27.78 minus 4.17, 10 seconds. 8 minus 4.17 equals to 2.36 2.36 meter per second squared. So this is the constant acceleration. So for letter B, determine the total distance traveled. So if you remember the formula for displacement, which is S, or displacement is equals to initial velocity multiplied by time plus 1/2 times acceleration times time raised to 2. We can use this formula since we have the acceleration, time, and initial velocity. We can directly substitute the value of initial velocity, which is 4.17 multiplied by the time, 10 seconds, plus 1/2, and the acceleration that we get, 2.36 times 10 raised to 2. So the displacement, or total distance, 4.17 multiplied by 10 plus 1/2 multiplied by 2.36 acceleration time, or 10 raised to 2, is equals to 159.7 meter. So this is the sample number 2 for rectilinear motion. A particle starts from the rest and move in a straight line with an acceleration of A is equals to open parenthesis 4t minus 6 meter per second squared, where t is in seconds. What is the particle's velocity when t, or time, is equals to 8 seconds? So this is the solution of the sample number 2 for rectilinear motion. In the problem, the acceleration is given, which is A is equals to 4t minus 6 meter per second squared. And the question is, what is the particle velocity? Particle velocity when the time or at time is equals to 8 seconds. So we can use the instantaneous acceleration concept, which is A, or instantaneous acceleration, is equals to dv over dt, or derivative of velocity equation with respect to time. So, in this equation, we can form other equation if we cross multiply dt to a. So we can simplify an equation or form other equation, which is a dt is equals dv, or dv is equals to a dt. So since the acceleration or so a is equals to 40 minus 6, we can simplify or we can substitute the acceleration here since it is a function of time. So dv equals to 40 minus 6 dt. So by integrating both sides, we can find or compute the velocity. So integrating both sides, t, since we have the time of 0 to time is equals 8. Since the lower limit is initial velocity and final velocity is the upper limit. And the time is 0 to 8, t or 8. Our lower limit is 0 and upper limit is t, which is 8 seconds. Since in the problem it stated that the particle starts from rest, so our initial velocity is equals to 0. So dv equals to 0, lower limit is 0, and upper limit is 2 of final velocity. So integrate these sides. For t squared over 2 minus 6t. So we can integrate. So we integrate this side. In integrating this, we can just add 1 plus 1, so it's 2, and also the lower part is 1 plus 1 is 2. Just use the power formula. So v2 minus 0, since the lower limit is equals to 0. So 4 divided by 2 equals 4 divided by 2 equals 2. So 2t squared minus 6t, and then the lower limit is 0, and then upper limit is 8. V V2 or V sub 2 is equals to 2 8 squared minus 0 and 6 8 minus 0. 8 squared was to 64. Then 6 times 8, 48. So the velocity or final velocity is equals to 2 multiplied by 64 minus 48 is equals to 80 or 80 meter per seconds. So this is the velocity wherein the time at 8 seconds. So when the time or at time 8 seconds, the velocity is equals to 80 meter per seconds. So the last sample problem for rectilinear motion. Traveling with an initial speed of 70 km per hour, a car accelerates of 6,000 km per hour squared along a straight road. How long will it take to reach a speed of 120 km per second? So, in the third problem for the rectilinear motion, which is traveling with an initial speed of 70 km per hour, a car accelerates at 6,000 km per hour squared along a straight road. How long will it take to reach a speed of 120 km per hour? So we have a initial velocity of 70 km per hour. And acceleration of 6,000 km per hour squared. So how long will it take to reach a speed of 120 km? So we should find or the time. How long? 6,000 km. Since we have the acceleration, initial velocity, and final velocity, we can use the formula of final velocity equals initial velocity plus acceleration multiplied by time, since we need to find the time. Since the acceleration is in kilometer per hour, we do not need to convert this velocity to meter per seconds, since there are same in units. So input this, or we can direct substitute it in this formula. So final velocity is 120 equals to initial velocity 70 km per hour plus acceleration of 6,000 km per hour multiplied by t. So time is 120 km per hour minus 70 km per hour over 6,000 km per hour. So 1 over 120. Since since the unit of time is seconds, we need to convert this to seconds. So to convert this, we can just multiply 60 minutes in every 1 hour and 60 seconds in 1 minute. So we can cancel this out, cancel the minute, and then seconds is the only last unit, or 160 over 1 and 60 over 1. So when the time is 30 seconds, final velocity, or after 30 seconds, the velocity or final velocity is 120 km per hour. If ever you forgot this formula, we can use the formula for variable acceleration or instantaneous acceleration, which is A is equals to dv over dt, or derivative of velocity equation with respect to time. So the acceleration is 6,000. So we can use this dt equals dv. So dv, the lower limit is initial, then the upper limit is final. So here is 0 or t a over dt. Integrate both sides. Since c and the acceleration here is constant. So since we put acceleration to constant, we can bring it out. So V1 to V2, then 80 to 0 to t. So 80 is equals to V2 or final velocity minus initial velocity is equals to 80, or V2 or final velocity initial velocity plus 80. It's just the same. If you can't remember this formula, we can use this process to compute or to find the time. So we can form other equation. Use this t is equals to, it's just the same. This is the answer for the sample problem number 3 for rectilinear motion. So t is equals to, since v2 or final velocity is 120 minus initial velocity is 70 over acceleration 6,000, it's just the same, but the process is longer than this. One 1 over 120 r. So since the time is seconds, we need to convert it to seconds. So 30 seconds. Just the same outcome but different process. This is the short process, which is we can use the formula for the constant acceleration, but if ever you can't remember, we can use the instantaneous acceleration for variable acceleration.